My chore for today is to clean up my buffet area over here. Of course, I have my pretty little knickknacks on it, but I also, during the summer months, I always find myself when I'm out gardening and I see this or that I want, especially as the summer goes on, and I see seeds of something that I want to save, I bring them in and I lay them on a paper towel. This is the spot that I put them. The sun comes in this window a little bit, so it helps dry them off, and this is just where I put them, just to kind of keep track of them. Well, generally what happens is as the summer progresses, it gets more full and more full and more full of seeds. And then about this time, can you believe Thanksgiving is almost here? I cannot believe it. I start thinking about how I'm going to need this buffet to put food on when I host Thanksgiving at my house this year. So this is the time of the year that I start going through and organizing and actually putting them in little baggies and noting on it what it is so that I'll remember it. Sadly for me, a lot of times by this time I have forgot what some of it is. I mean, not forgot, I can tell by the seed, whether it come from a squash or a tomato, but sometimes I forgot the variety, which is bad. What I like to do is when I actually first put them out, like you can see this, I have some watermelon seeds on it. I like to actually go ahead and write on the paper towel or whatever it is that I lay them on, the tray or whatever, and that way I'll remember. I don't always do that though. I do remember what this one was though. This was from my volunteer watermelons that come out up front, and I just thought I'd save a few seeds just to see if they did any good for me next year. So now I'm going to see what I can do to clean it up and put them in the bags. I guess I'll just start with the watermelon one since it was my the one I had there, and I'm just going to write volunteer watermelon. And I guess I'll put the date, or at least the year, 22, so we'll know, because I probably have other ones. The great thing about seeds is that they last so long that even if you don't plant them the following year, you just save them, and maybe you'll plant them the year after that. Now the thing about putting them in little paper towels, this is really too big of a bag for them, but I'm just going to go with it, is that sometimes this happens. The little paper towel gets stuck to the back. You can try to get that off if you want to, but I just leave it. I figure that's like a little bit of mulch that'll just help it when I actually do plant it. And I'll save these. I reuse my bags and my napkins and things. I just fold them up and keep them with my seeds so I can use them again until they just get to the point I can't any longer. So this next one is kind of interesting. These are nasturtium seeds. I love nasturtiums, and they did so good this year. And these right here are actually some flower seeds that are from some marigolds. So I'm gonna find some more flower seeds probably to put those with, and then I'm gonna do my nasturtiums though. Now this one doesn't look like it's very dry enough to put up, and I have a whole bunch that's not dry enough yet to put up. This is how many I've harvested, but there's some more flower seeds for me. So I can tell those are marigolds. That one is a Cosmo, I believe. Cosmo. So I'm going to put all those just in a little bag together, and then I'll likely plant them all in the same place. Just take them out and sprinkle them next spring. Now, as far as my nasturtiums in here, some of them have dried up to the point that I could go ahead and put them in a bag. So I'm going to quickly go through them and pick the green ones out that'll need to continue to dry. Okay, I think that got most of them. I'm going to let the rest of these continue to dry, but I'll probably move them somewhere else, maybe in a bedroom or something near another window. Now I can put these up though, put my nasturtiums up. There's one that somehow got mixed in that's still green. This will be plenty, of course, for me. They're such a flowing plant that you don't have to, in other words, one or two seeds will produce a really big nasturtium if it does good for you. but I love to stick them everywhere. They're just such a pretty plant, and they're edible, so there's a plus for that. So there's that. Now, I wonder if I've got any more flowers, but maybe I'll go ahead and put these in a bag just to get them out of the way. For now. Those are kind of self-evident what they are, so I don't even know if I need to mark them. Move my towel. Now these, I may have to call Corey in to help me on these. These are, you hear how rattly they are. They're crowder peas. So I could actually, well, I said they were, then down inside, I think I just dropped one. There's some red hull peas. So there's the crowder peas. You can really tell the difference in them. And I see in the bottom, some of them's already come out for us. Also pick up some trash. So these we could actually hull out and eat. You know, they're just like dried field peas, crowder peas. Or we could save them for seed. Either one. And there's some stuff that's just kind of shriveled up, too small to be of use. And we have some in here. So let's see. I think we'll tackle them next. I'm going to put my red hulls to the side for a minute, and Corey will get in here with me, and we'll both tackle these. So Corey was asking me, what do you do if they're just really little? You can see the ones in this one, they weren't really fully developed. They're really tiny there and all shriveled up. I would just discard those because they're not going to be a good seed for you. And even as far as eating, that wouldn't be, you know, wouldn't be, I mean, you could eat it definitely, especially if you were really hungry. You'd appreciate every little piece. But as far as keeping seeds, you want to keep the ones that are more like what the actual crowder pea or whatever it is that you're doing would look like when it was fully matured. Okay, well, we finished those. We ended up with a lot, so that would be a great meal or seeds. I'll have to check and see how many seeds I actually have left from crowder peas, and I probably have plenty. So we made a big mess though, but we'll clean all this up then. So I'm going to set these aside. Don't go too far, Corey. I may need you again.
Okay.
So this was the red hull peas here. Those look kind of, I don't know about these. These look kind of like they've been molded, so I'm not going to keep those. I think I have plenty of them, and I've actually saved some right over here. Here's some more. I'm just going to discard those. They're all moldy. Probably because I had them underneath the crowder peas. This is, right here is some peanut beans, and I know I have more of them, so that I need to add to this. This is the first time we've grown peanut beans. They're really popular in my area of Appalachia, though. A lot of people grow them. They're a bush bean. Matt don't like them because they're a bush bean. He says they're too hard to bend over. But they did produce really good for us, and we canned a lot of them. So definitely want to keep some of those for next year. So I'm just going to leave those right there. I know what they are. Maybe I'll go ahead and write on them, peanut beans. Put them in the bag. There's those. Now this one, I know I did this. I stuffed them all in there, and let's hope that they're not molded, because if they are, that'd be my fault, and they are, some of them. It's totally my fault. There. Not all of them. Maybe I can salvage a few. I see some bugs crawling out for me. That's going to be, there's another bug. totally my fault on these, but let's see how they look. So these look okay. More bugs. These are my 2 different ones that we tried this year. The Cherokee Trail bean, and then also one that a subscriber shared with me that he just called Grammy bean, which we really liked. So it's really a shame if I think the ones that were molded was the Cherokee one, but it's still a shame. I should have done better than that. I stuffed them in there and then meant to come back and spread them out, and I never did do that part. I should have definitely laid me out a towel here because I'm making a mess. So literally any beans that you dried like this, I mean, of course I'm drying these for seeds. I left them on there till they were dried outside. But you could, of course, reconstitute them and eat them just like dried beans. So all those could be eaten as black beans if we wanted to do that.
What would happen if you planted a moldy seed?
Well, I mean, it likely might still grow. Corey just asked me what would happen if you planted a moldy seed. You know, if you were, if you weren't living in the land of plenty like we are, you definitely should try to save and plant anything like that. So you never know, it might be just fine. Of course, you do want your seed to be, like I said, the mature, full item that you've grown. You want it to be the best. In other words, the cream of the crop is what you want to save your seeds from. But there's no reason to not try if you don't necessarily have the cream of the crop. You try with if you don't never try, you'll never know, I guess is how I'd look at it. Of course, you should aim for that cream of the crop seed, but if you end up with something lacking from that, I would try it and see what happened. And it's so amazing when you think about what can come from one seed. You know, if I plant this one little white seed next year and it grows, it won't just make one bean. It'll make, no telling how many beans will be on that plant. So that's really exciting thing to think about, the power of a seed. Okay, boy, I really did make a mess. I'm gonna have to wash my doily here. Now we'll get the black seeds. We ended up with Matt loved this bean. That was probably his favorite one that we grew. So he'll be happy to know we have that many seeds for next year. Okay, I've totally ruined my thing. It'll come out in the wash though. Now we're back to, here's some red whole peas that I've already started there. And then here's some, but they kind of feel damp, so I'm wondering if I should wait on them. Or I might, Corey, you want to come back and help me and bring the little tray with you, and we might hold these out and put them in a tray. Do this and put these are actually the Mississippi pink eyes that we grew this year. I could put some of our trash in here. There's nothing like making a mess. You got to make a mess a lot of times to actually straighten up and clean up. Tear it all out and then put it all back. Okay, we got that one. That was actually our, mark out what I had in there before. That was actually our Mississippi pink eyes, which we loved. volunteer watermelon. I should have been using this the whole time. Let's see, Corey, here's a few more. I don't know if any of these beans are even worth. This was like the very last of the peanut beans, and they're so tiny that I don't know that I'm even going to fool with them, since I know that I've got some for next year. That's actually a different kind of bean, so I wonder what that is. No, yeah, that's maybe the same. That's a peanut bean. No, it's not red, so it's not a peanut bean. These are red hull peas from Granny that she sent home with me one day. So I'll do those. These little beans are just not. When I kept them, Matt said those are not, you don't need to keep those, you need to throw them away or eat them one. Oh no, look, there's one. There's some big black ones. I do need to go through them.
Yay.
Yay. Okay, I feel so good to get all that part done. That was bugging me. That was what's been sitting around everywhere. So we've got those all in the bags. That's wonderful. Now the other thing I wanted to do really quickly, if I can really quickly, was to, this every year, I carry this around with me in the garden, and I fill it full of the seeds that I'm going to be planting that day. But what happens by year end is it looks like this. It's so full, and you don't even know what's in it, and you can't find what's in it. So I like to go through it. Now some of the stuff that's in it's actually, see, I've not even opened this. It's actually seeds that I've already bought thinking about next year. So let's see what they are. And I could definitely go ahead and put these with my others. So there's some squash, some parsnips, some turnips, rutabagas, radishes, and poppy mix. So that could be easily. This was some seeds that someone, Danny, shared with me, some Mexican petunias. So I hope that I can plant those next year, so those can go with my flowers. This was some seeds that Ron Stevens shared with me, and I did plant them, and they're growing. That was chives, so those again can be put with my other seeds. This was some seeds sent to me by Mark, a subscriber. Let's see. I think they were flowers too. Yes, we'll put those so we can plant those next year. I'll have to drag out my seed container so that I can actually store the stuff. This was some seeds sent to me, lots of different ones by Connie, so I'll have to sort through those and put those up. I might actually just leave those just like they are, so I'll know next year. Again, Connie sent me some of those. She had a lot of extra seeds. Glenda Page sent me these big things so that I could mark my vegetables when I plant them. I'm so bad about not marking them, and her suggestion was to write on them and then to spray them with like a clear coat or something to protect them. So I'm definitely going to try to use those next year. Some sunflowers. I think these were from Jean, so we'll be sure to do those. There's me an empty bag that I'll be needing. Here's me some Yance beans. These are tomato seeds from Maryland, so I could definitely file those away for next year. Let's see what these are. Some pepper seeds from Donald's. I want to try those next year. That was some, I think that's a little Love in the Mist flowers. I could put those back there with the flowers. This was some seed that Granny recently gave me. So she's wadded up some pink Sweet Williams. So I'll put those with the flowers. And these are, I'm going to shell these out too. I'll get Corey to help me, or I could even wait on them. But they were from Betty Jean Hogan that we've done some videos with, and she shared them with me. She said they're a white bean, and they're from the Carringer family here in Brasstown, and that they're really great. She wanted me to give them a try next year, so I'm excited about that. Here's some turkey gizzard seeds. These were from Don Cassida, so he wanted me to try those. More flowers. I could put those back with the flowers. These were some of my Wando peas that I grew in the spring, so I'd already put those in the bag. Here's some more of the greasy beans from this year that I saved. More of those Cherokee Trail, so I can combine those two. Here's some seeds from someone that sent them to me. Oh, these were the original. These were the Grammy seeds. These were those white ones that Matt liked so much. And they were from Chad. So we really love those. So I hope that we can get enough. He wanted us to actually, if we gain some seed over the next few years, to share with him again. Of course, our rattlesnake beans. More empty bags. Here's some silver slicer cucumber that I kept this year that I've already dried for next year. So I need to organize, put those with the cucumbers. There's more of those Cherokee beans. Here's some sprouting seeds that someone has given me that I've never tried anything like that. More empty bags. More rattlesnakes. Here's the peanut beans that we grew this year. Planted the 4 o'clocks, and I actually did grow them. They were from Nancy, and they actually grew and bloomed. They were yellow. They were really pretty. So I'm going to do that again next year. I'll put those with the flowers. And here's some beans. These were some of the last things I planted. There's some lima beans. Needs to be put up. These were from Nancy. More 4 o'clocks. And then I've got just some of my knives in there, or my diggers. Some moonvine seeds that I never did get planted. Some more seeds that folks have shared with me there. I want to try. This is actually the loofah, like if anybody grows loofah. And I think we're finally to the bottom, maybe. So I'm going to have to pull out my containers and now put all this in there so that it'll be organized. Let's see what this is, though, before I do that. Oh, this is the gold. Buzz and Sandra sent me this. Thank you, Buzz and Sandra. Corn glass gem. It's corn, but it looks like almost like it's gems when it grows. So I want to try that. I do not do well with corn here where I live, but I want to try that for sure next year. There's some watermelon seeds that can definitely be put up. These were some little seeds, flower seeds someone shared. Sue Myers, she shared some wonderful flowers with me, so I'm going to put those up. Here's some of my tomatoes that can be filed away. There's some vitamins in the middle of all my stuff, so I know that's elderberry, and I can't think quercetin, I think, so I don't know why that was in there. Maybe I was thinking I thought the bag was empty or something, so I could resave my bag. Strange. These are the toothache seeds from Ramona, and I didn't get to plant those. Maybe I'll put those with the flowers and try to do those next year. Let's see, this has got Granny. This is Granny. More Sweet William, so I need to put those in a plastic bag. These were some wild black raspberry seeds shared by a subscriber, and I didn't get to plant them, but I want to find a place to put them all in one place. I can't wait to try that. Another saw, some scissors, always handy, some pens, some spiders down in there that I see, some of those wonderful markers that I should have been using to write on instead of not knowing what I planted where. These were some markers that I think Corey or Katie got me last year for Christmas. Cilantro, basil, and calendula. Corey says it was her, but I didn't use them. I should have. And a lot of trash in the bottom. Here's some ochre Jing orange that was shared with me, and it's my favorite too. Some more flower seeds there. There's some of the tape that I used to keep the birds off my blueberries, which didn't do me any good this year because of the late hard freeze we had in March, right on the day of the weekend of Corey's wedding. Got all my blueberries, so I barely had any this year. Hopefully next year that'll help. Another thing. More markers that I should have been using. More trash. This was something Matt made for me to plant with that I didn't actually use, but I should have. Let's see. Here's a book that I always mean to write down stuff in, and I start pretty good at the beginning. Like I wrote down my tomatoes, but you can see I never fulfill, I never continue to write in my garden journal. I need to, but I don't. And I'm finally to the bottom, thank goodness. So now I'm going to clean this out, dump all this stuff, the dirt that's in the bottom of it that's accumulated, and I'm going to dump it out. I'm going to organize these into my big photo pack where I keep my seeds, or actually photo organizers, and it was actually someone online that suggested that, and they do work really well. And I got mine at Michael's. I'm sure you can find them at other places, but I'm going to work to put all this in there, clean this up, and then I'll be ready for my buffet. Of course, I'm going to have to do some cleaning on it now that I've made such a mess with the dirt and the seeds, but I'll be ready for Thanksgiving in a couple of weeks when it gets here. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me as I organize my seeds, already thinking about next year. I hope that you'll leave a comment and tell me what kind of seeds do you save? Do you save any? Do you just buy them? Maybe you're not a gardener, but if you are a gardener, bean seeds are really easy to save. A lot of flower seeds are also easy to save. As always, I hope you'll drop back by often and help me celebrate Appalachia, which is a whole lot of growing a garden and growing flowers.